project demo for the core CSC611M for the MC02 project, which is for developing distributed system project. I'll first discuss the architecture. So the architecture goes as follows. So I will be running 4 different Spring Boot applications, one being the producer app and 3 worker applications. So the way it's going to work is that I will start the producer app, which will be then instantiate a shared H2 memory database wherein we will be storing the links that will be scraped from the website and also the email addresses that will be scraped by the worker applications. Once all the links are scraped by the worker application, it will then produce the required CSV file containing all the email addresses and the corresponding names, and also the statistics on how many email addresses were scraped. So the flow is going to be start the producer application, connect scrape the website to all the links, save the links to the H2 database. So once we got all the links in the H2 database, it will then produce a message and send it to Kafka, each link, and then those messages will then be consumed by the worker applications. And then once the message is consumed by the worker application, it contains the URL, specific URL of the website, specific URL of the website wherein it's going to scrape the email addresses. And once it scraped the email addresses, it will update the status of the link in the H2 database and save the scrape email addresses. So let's discuss the project. So I'll be running 3 different Spring Boot applications. So this is the first application, Spring Boot application um, for the producer application, which is also the same application that will start up the H2 in memory database. This is one of the consumer consumer application. So this is one of the consumer application running on 811. So that's the consumer 1. Consumer 2, Spring Boot application running on port 822, and consumer 3 running on 833. So um, I'll be starting first. For the interest of time, I already have a running Kafka, Zookeeper, and Broker here. So it's already running the Kafka Broker here and the Zookeeper. So I'll be just starting up the producer applications and the consumer applications. So here we can see that the producer applications is starting up, and also the shared H2 memory database. It should start scraping all the links, and we can check that from the database. Here. So you'll see that it has each URL to be scraped, have a pending initial status of pending, and the worker is now, which will be populated later on by our different worker applications. So you'll see here that it already instantiated the producer and it started sending the messages to the Kafka with the ID and the corresponding URL. We can then now start our consumer applications. So it's fine that it already started sending the messages because it will be just in a FIFO in the message broker. So in the Kafka broker, you'll see here that yeah, um, the it's starting to recognize now the consumer applications that we just fired up. So it sent already 10 messages, and you see here that different consumer applications are consuming different messages already from the Kafka with the corresponding ID and the links. Let's just clear it up. So there's just a delay of 5 seconds here. I deliberately put a delay there just to give time for the consumers to consume the messages. So you'll see that the messages are actually distributed among the 3 consumer applications. Um, you can confirm that by the ID. And another way of actually monitoring that is through the database. So you'll see here that if you run this, um, the links are being worked on by different um, application worker already. So uh, it will populate the worker application and then update the status to scrape once they are done scraping the links. So once this scrape URLs means they finish this worker finish scraping this site, and it should be able it should have produced email address already here. So it's the workers already saving the scrape email addresses here. So once all these links are all 177 links are finished scraping, uh, the the um the the producer app will then produce the CSV file, which contain the name of the corresponding name of each email addresses and the statistics containing how many email addresses were scraped. So you'll see that since we have 177 links, the producer application keeps on sending until it sent all the 177 links to the message broker, and will then be consumed by the consumer application. So I'm not gonna, since there's a lot of link here, I'm not gonna finish all of them running. So you'll see a lot of them are already worked on by the different app worker. So I'm gonna skip, and then yeah, after this, after the last URL scrape, it will just then the produce application will just then produce the CSV file. This might take time, so I'm gonna end the demo here.